It was really confusing.
Yeah, well, get used to it.
Hello, Lost fans. Today we are talking about someone from the freighter. That someone is Miles. Miles Straume was born in March 1977 to Pierre Chang and Laura Chang, two Dharma initiates who lived on an island. A few months later, Laura Chang is forced to take Miles and leave the island because of an incident. This incident would cause the death of Pierre Chang, Miles' dad. The next event we know of is, at a very young age, Miles wanders off from his mom, like a kid does, and enters an apartment because he hears a voice.
Miles? Miles, what happened?
Oh, God.
What were you doing in here?
He was all alone. His chest hurt. He kept calling out for Kimberly.
Kimberly? That's his wife. How would you know that?
I heard him.
Miles, what are you talking about?
He's still talking right now.
Honey.
This is the first time he'll realize he has the ability to extract information from the dead. Next time we see Miles is when he will visit his dying mother in order to get some questions answered.
I need you to tell me why I'm this way. How I do the things I do. And I need to know why you won't talk to me about my father.
Because he never cared about us.
I need to know where he is, Ma.
It doesn't matter where.
It does matter. I have a right to know.
He's dead. Kicked us out when you were just a baby. He didn't want anything to do with us. So the less you knew about him, the better. Your dad has been dead a long time.
Through the years, as an adult, Miles would use his ability for money by charging people for closure, until one day after a job, he is approached by a woman named Naomi.
My name's Naomi Dorrit. My employer's been following your work for some time now and is interested in retaining your rather unique services. There's a restaurant not too far from here. Would you like to hear what I have to say?
Whatever you got going on here, this isn't really my thing.
From what I understand, Miles, if the price is right, this is exactly your thing.
Name's Felix. On his way to deliver something to a guy named Whitmore. Bunch of papers, photos, pictures of empty graves. A purchase order for an old airplane.
Miles will decline the job at first, but is offered $1.6 million, so he'll say yes. That night, Miles is kidnapped, and the people in the van try to convince him the guy he's going to work for, Charles Whitmore, is a bad dude.
And we had to try our best to talk you out of working for Charles Whitmore. He's the man who chartered the boat you'll be getting on next week. And my friend, you do not want to get on that boat. Do you know what lies in the shadow of the statue?
You want me to pass on going to the island? It's going to cost you double what they offered. $3.2 million.
We're not paying you anything. All the money in the world isn't going to fill that empty hole inside you, Miles.
They do not get through to him, and he's still going, so they toss him out of the van. He heads to the dock so he can board a freighter.
My name isn't Kevin. Don't worry. 80% of the people on this boat are lying about something. Orange?
Then Miles would meet the rest of the team. The team consists of Miles himself, Naomi, of course, a man named Frank, who's a pilot, Daniel Faraday, who's a physicist, and Charlotte Lewis, who's an anthropologist. The team embarks on their mission and boards a freighter. Also on this freighter is a bunch of security guys. Now, to get to the island, they have to go via helicopter, but things go wrong.
Check under your seat! I already did! Get ready! Airshifting mine! Everybody out now! Hey, genius! No!
Miles Miles lands on some rock. He is soon found by fellow teammate Daniel. He is with some other people who are survivors from Oceanic Flight 815, and their relationship starts off very rocky. There's a lot of guns being waved around. Miles doesn't trust these people. For some context, before the research team moved down, Naomi went to the island first. When she radios back, she uses a code word to say she's in trouble.
Where I can see him. Hey! All right. Okay. You're Kate. You want to tell me where Naomi is?
What?
Naomi, the woman you killed.
Miles uses his gun to force the group to take him to Naomi so he can learn the truth. And it turns out Kate didn't kill him. Someone named John Locke did. But the tables will now turn. Turns out the people who found him are not alone on the island, and the other people they're with have guns as well. So he is forced to give up his gun and is now the one being held at gunpoint.
Dan, I swear to God, you say one more word, I'm going to break your fingers.
And what do you do, Miles?
I collect soil samples.
Oh, that's nice. Well, maybe you can help me. You say you're not here on a rescue mission, and the world at large believes us to be dead. But here we are, alive and well, and you don't seem remotely surprised to see us.
Oh, my God. You guys were on Oceanic Flight 815. Wow. That better?
On the march, they pick up Charlotte's beacon, only it's not really her, and it's tied to a dog. It turns out Charlotte is with the man who killed Naomi, John Locke. The group then sees a flare go off in the sky and goes towards it. And wouldn't you know it, they find the pilot, Frank.
Frank? Frank? Hey, Frank. What happened? We got struck by lightning. Frank?
Lapidus, where's the chopper? Where did it crash?
Crash? What kind of pilot do you think I am? I put her down safe and sound right over there.
While the group makes a plan, Miles would overhear that Juliet was not on the plane and is a native to the island.
Really? Where is he? Back off.
Where's who?
You want to know why we're here? I'll tell you why we're here. We're here for Benjamin Linus.
Miles is determined to get back Charlotte, and a man named Saeed volunteers to get Charlotte back, but only if there's a space for him on the helicopter to go back to the freighter. They both chit-chat on the way, and Miles learns some information about the survivors.
Actually, I do care about Locke. Maybe you can tell me how he managed to split your happy little family in half.
There was a fundamental debate as to whether your people were coming to rescue us or kill us.
And which side did you land on?
When they arrive, they walk right into a trap and are ambushed by Gus, so Saeed will trade Miles for Charlotte. And now Miles is the hostage. A few days later, Kate will go visit him, and she has some questions for him.
So the Arab traded you too, huh?
Do you know who I am? Do you know what I did?
Miles agrees to tell her what he knows for a meeting with Ben. Kate totally delivers, and Miles will use this opportunity to extort Ben for money.
You know who I work for?
Yes.
And I can tell him exactly where you are, or I can lie and tell him you're already dead. And I'd be willing to do that for $3.2 million.
You've arranged this meeting so you could blackmail me?
It's extortion, if you want to get technical. 1 week in cash.
Time's up.
Don't even think about it!
I said time's up!
Miles is dragged out of the room, and he lets Kate know that, yes, everyone on the freighter knows she's a felon who's running from a murder charge. He's brought back to the boathouse and tied up again, where he'll have a very interesting meeting with John Locke.
But you're wasting your mouth. Open your mouth. Wide.
Oh.
Don't talk. Bite down, bite down. I realized that when I tied you up in here the other day, I made the mistake of failing to introduce myself. My name is John Locke, and I'm responsible for the well-being of this island.
Afterwards, Miles is dragged into a group meeting where everyone will exchange information.
Thank you all for your patience. Miles here, and 3 of his people came to the island about a week ago. So I brought him up from the boathouse to share with us exactly why they're here.
We're here for him.
We can't turn him over.
And why the hell not?
Because once they have me, their orders are to kill everyone else on the island.
Not long after, the security guys from the freighter, they're really mercenaries, will come to the island to finish their mission by any means necessary. And these guys are brutal. They blow stuff up, they kill people. They even drag out Ben's daughter and kill her right in front of him. So in retaliation, Ben calls a weird smoke monster to attack the mercenaries. After retreating into the jungle, Miles is paired with 3 people. Claire and her baby Aaron, and a guy named Sawyer who doesn't like him.
Don't even think about it.
What?
Don't look at her. Don't talk to her. Don't mess with her. You got a restraining order. 20 feet.
What are you, a big brother?
No. The guy that's gonna put a boot in your face unless you say, yeah, I get you.
Yeah, I get you.
It is decided that they will head to a beach camp setup that the other survivors are at, but the journey will be a little long and take a couple days. After finding some graves and hiding from mercenaries, they will finally reach the beach. However, not the whole group. One night while camping, Claire will wander off into the jungle and leaves her baby.
Where's Claire? Ladies' room?
Nope. She just walked off into the jungle.
You let her go alone?
She wasn't alone.
Well, who was she with?
She called him Dad. I'd have followed them, but I have a restraining order.
At the beach, Miles is reunited with teammates Charlotte and with Daniel, who is helping raft people to the freighter.
Who told you could eat those peanuts?
May I eat these peanuts?
I'm gonna keep my eye on you, Shorty.
Miles.
Something wrong with your neck?
Follow me, please. I'm leaving in 10 minutes. Take the next group of people to the freighter. You need to make sure that you're with me on that raft, right?
Well, don't worry about me, because I'm gonna stay.
Miles, no, I don't think I'm getting across the direness of this circumstance.
Oh, no, you're very dire, but I'm still gonna stay.
Hey, 10 minutes.
Yep.
When all of a sudden, something weird happens. Everyone's A-okay, but the camp they built is no longer there. That's when Daniel will suggest a wild theory.
Why is our camp gone? Your camp isn't gone. It hasn't been built yet.
Yep, it's time travel. The time shift leaves the group without food and shelter, and they will argue about it. While fighting, they are attacked by fire arrows. The group will then run into the trees to try to escape the attack. However, 7 people will die. The time jumps will continue randomly and will drop them into different parts of time. The group will meet some hostile people, get held by gunpoint, see a hydrogen bomb, and unfortunately lose some members of their party. One of these people would be Charlotte, who's having an adverse reaction to all the time jumping. Turns out, the longer you get spent on the island, the harder you're hit during the time jumps. And spoiler warning, Charlotte used to live on the island when she was younger. They also run into one John Locke, who says he has a way to stop all the time jumping. They help him out and he does just that, although they are stuck in the 70s. 1974 to be exact. The group stuck in the 70s consists of Miles, Sawyer, Juliet, Daniel, and a guy named Jin. They decide to join up with something called the Dharma Initiative. 3 days later, Miles will find out that he does have some connection to this island.
Third day we were here, I was online at the cafeteria and my mother got in line behind me.
This is when Miles will figure out his parents were part of the Dharma Initiative and used to live on the island. 3 years will go by and this group leads nice, boring lives. Until one day in 1977, a group of people who previously left the island are now back. They managed to get to 3 of them, Hurley, Jack, and Kate, and they kind of assimilate them into the Dharma Initiative because it's new recruit day and a bunch of new people are coming anyways. But they fail to reach Saeed in time and he is captured and they're forced to kind of lock him up and play along. Their nice, boring lives are just thrown out the window, especially when Saeed breaks free and ends up shooting a kid. Not just a random kid, this kid is Ben. Ben has caused a lot of problems to the survivors of Oceanic Flight 815, and I guess Saeed is trying to change the future by killing Ben as a kid so he doesn't grow up to do all the bad stuff. This leads to some conversations about time travel.
What the hell are you doing, Tubby?
Checking to see if I'm disappearing.
What?
Back to the future, man. We came back in time to the island and changed stuff. So if little Ben dies, he'll never grow up to be Big Ben, who's the one who made us come back here in the first place. Which means we can't be here, and therefore, dude, we don't exist.
You're an idiot.
Am I?
Yeah, it doesn't work like that. You can't change anything. Your maniac Iraqi buddy shot Linus. That is what always happened. It's just, we never experienced how it all turns out. But the good news is that Linus didn't die. So that means the kid can't either. He'll be fine. If I'm wrong, then I guess we all stop existing and none of it matters anyway then, does it?
While everyone deals with the Ben situation, Miles and Hurley are kind of paired up for the day because Hurley needs a ride, and Miles lets him know about his supernatural gift.
You can trust me, I talk to lots of dead people.
So you have conversations with them like they're your pals?
Sometimes we even play chess.
That's not how it works.
Aha! You wouldn't know how it works unless you can do it.
What I can do has nothing to do with chatting with ghosts, you nitwit. It's a feeling, a sense.
That's how it works for me.
Great. I'm happy for you.
You're just jealous my power is better than yours.
We're here.
Miles would also tell Hurley about how his parents are on the island, and at this point in time, they have a 3-month-old baby named Miles.
Stay here till I get back.
Yes, sir.
Dude, that guy's a total douche.
That douche is my dad.
So, anyway...
I don't want to talk about it.
Are you kidding me?
What part of I don't want to talk about it isn't sinking in?
But all those Dharma dudes end up dead. Don't you want to save them?
They're going to get killed no matter what I do, so why bother?
I need you to take me to Rosinski at the worksite, immediately.
On the drive, Hurley does everything he can to make Miles and his dad talk.
What does exactly you do with the orchid?
It's classified.
Oh, really? You can't tell anyone? Not even your wife?
No.
What about your kids?
I have a 3-month-old son, so no, I haven't told him.
Wow, congrats. What's his name?
Miles.
Small world. That's your name too, right, Miles? Great. We should all get together for a beer sometime. How awesome would that be?
It doesn't super work, and on the ride back, Hurley refuses to drop the subject.
Well, and this is kind of awesome for you, huh?
How is it awesome?
Because you get to hang out with them, you know?
Whoa! Listen up, because we're only going to have this conversation once, okay? I don't want to hang out with my dad.
Did he beat you up when you were little or something?
He wasn't even around when I was little, you dimwit. I never knew him until now. Why am I even telling you this?
Because you're in pain and you need to let it out.
I'm not in pain. It doesn't matter. My father is dead. He's gone. He never cared.
But he's not gone. We just dropped him off.
You want to get into my business?
This is when Miles will discover that Hurley is trying to write The Empire Strikes Back because the first movie just came out and he wants to make some tweaks to it.
That's when Chewbacca shows up and blasts it away with his crossbow laser. He shakes his fury fist in the sky in triumph. Chewbacca. Rawr.
While returning the van, Hurley makes one last-ditch effort in order to convince Miles he should get to know his dad while he can.
Sorry I said you were afraid to talk to your dad, dude.
Don't worry about it.
I used to hate my dad, too. He left when I was 10. But the best thing I ever did was give him a second chance. We got to be the best of friends, and although I may never see him again, I miss him.
It's not happening.
That was Luke's attitude, too. In Empire, Luke found out Vader was his father, but instead of putting away his lightsaber and talking about it, he overreacted and got his hand cut off. I mean, they worked it out eventually, but at what cost?
Miles, I need you.
You do?
Subs in from HQ. I need your help bringing them in.
Sure, new recruits.
No, scientists from Ann Arbor. Get your van and let's get to the dock.
This is when an old friend would stop by.
Man. Hey, Miles. Long time no see. This is what I'm doing back here. When did they get here?
A few days ago. It's weird, huh? LaFleur managed.
We don't have time. I need you to take me to Jack's right now, okay? Jack, how did you get back here? How did you do it? How did you get back to the island? How did you get back here to 1977?
What's going on? Don't look at me. I just carried his luggage.
Who told you to get on a plane?
As a matter of fact, Dan, it was your mother.
You don't belong here at all. She was wrong.
Miles would then drive Daniel to one of the stations so Daniel can talk to the lead scientist, Pierre Chang. The Dharma Initiative is apparently drilling at something they call the Swan Station to build a hatch. What they don't know is they're about to drill into a large pocket of electromagnetic energy, and this will cause a catastrophe for the island. So Daniel's here to warn them. Despite Daniel's best efforts, Pierre doesn't believe him, so Daniel decides to tell him the truth.
Look at my journal, please. Look at these equations. Some of them won't be discovered for another 20 years. Hey, Dr. Chang.
Hey, Dan, leave the man alone.
Sorry, Dr. Chang. I think he had too many drugs on the side.
Dr. Chang. Miles is your son.
Excuse me?
Think about it. A Chinese man named Miles, the same name as your baby, shows up with me from the future. You really think this is all coincidence?
Is this true?
No.
Please, stay away from me.
Miles and Daniels will go back to their friends, and Daniel will explain a crazy plan. Daniel wants to find the group known as the Others or the Hostiles. These are people they have met before. These are the people with the bomb. In this group is a woman named Eloise Hawkins, also known as Daniel's mother. He wants to convince her to give him the bomb so he can help stop everything from happening. If this works out, it will stop the hatch from happening, which will in turn stop Oceanic Flight 815 from crashing, which in turn will stop the people on the freighter coming to the island.
Wibbly wobbly, timey-wimey stuff.
The group is down for this, so half will go with Daniel to find the bomb, the other half will get supplies and get away from the Dharma Initiative. The group that is getting supplies will soon realize they're being followed by one Pierre Chang, and he wants some answers.
What are you doing here?
Your friend Faraday said that you were from the future. I need to know if he was telling the truth.
Dude, that's ridiculous.
What year were you born? What year?
1931.
You're 46?
Yes, I am.
Who's the president of the United States?
All right, dude, we're from the future. Sorry.
It's true then? You are my son.
Yeah, it's true.
You're a friend, the physicist. He also told me to evacuate everyone I could off the island. He said there was going to be a massive accident at the Swan. Now, is that true?
He's been right about everything so far. If Faraday said get people off the island, I'd do it.
Pierre will go back and try to convince everyone to stop the drilling and get off the island.
I want you to leave now.
Why is he yelling at her, dude?
It's the only way you can get her to leave.
This is a crucial moment for Miles. He spent most of his life with abandonment issues and feeling unwanted by his father. Turns out he did it to save him. It also makes me not like Miles's mom a lot. The team returns with what they need from the bomb, but a firefight breaks out. So the group in the jungle will grab a van and go save Saeed and Jack. They get them into the van and drive away, only it seems Saeed is hit and it's not looking good.
Is that a bomb?
Try not to move. You need to stop the bleeding.
What's going on back there? Saeed okay? Does he look okay? Just keep your eyes on the damn road. Should I pull over? Yeah, let's pull over and get shot. Just drive. I don't know where we're going.
The Swan site. Head to the Swan.
Why do you want to go there if Saeed's shot?
Hurley, if you want to save Saeed, take us to the Swan.
One it is.
One of those.
I don't think your buddy's gonna make it.
He'll make it. Something just happened down there. You hit something.
It's all set to go. According to Faraday's plan, you must get the bomb as close as you can to the source of electromagnetism.
Can I ask you something, LaFleur?
There ain't no more LaFleur, Enos. Go ahead, shoot.
Has it occurred to any of you that your buddy's actually going to cause the thing he says he's trying to prevent? Perhaps that little nuke is the incident. So maybe the best thing to do is nothing? I'm glad you all thought this through.
Despite Miles' very logical argument, they decide to go through with it. But things don't go as they plan. Everything metal is being pulled into the pit.
Get away from here! Get as far away from here as you can!
One of the group members there, Juliet, is dragged down to the pit by some chains. The group will do everything they can to save her, but they can't. She will fall down the very hole that they put the bomb in. When she gets to the bottom, she sees that the bomb didn't go off. So she'll muster up the last strength she has and hits it with a rock. And it works, it goes off. And everyone there is transported back to their original timeline of 2007. After they wake up, the group will realize everything is the same and it probably didn't work. There's some yelling and some fighting and some punching, and while all that is going on, Hurley gets a visit from a guy named Jacob. He's dead, but Hurley can see him because of his gift. Jacob will tell Hurley that in order to save Saeed, he needs to take him to a temple, and everyone else will be safe there too. Most of the group will decide to go to the temple.
You gonna sing Kumbaya on the way?
It's not a guitar, man.
Then what is it?
You mind hanging back?
You got it, boss. I think that'll do it, boss.
Stop calling me boss. You ain't my deputy anymore.
You got it. Be thirsty? I think I saw some beers in the van. Construction guys hit him in the wheel.
What'd she want to tell me, Miles? She said she wanted to tell me something, then she died.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter.
It's not gonna help.
Just do it. Just
She's
ask
gone,
her.
James.
What?
It worked.
What did she want to tell?
That's what she wanted to tell you. It worked.
What worked?
While all this is happening, the others will go to the temple. Not long after, Miles and Sawyers are ambushed in the jungle and also brought to the temple. It seems the temple people have tried to save Saeed and they have failed.
If you ever want to talk, I'm around. What?
Nothing.
But before you know it, Saeed wakes up, and he's fine. The group will bring Saeed outside for some air, and he'll begin to ask some questions.
Who are these people? What do they want?
It's the others, dude. They caught us. Again. I don't know, I think they're trying to protect us.
And as you can see, Hugo here has assumed the leadership position, so that's pretty great.
The temple people want to question Saeed and demand to do so. While they're distracted by that, Sawyer will grab a gun, point it at them, and demand to leave. He kinda wants to be alone so he can grieve the death of Juliet, who he was in love with and had a life with for 3 years. Kate and Jen will volunteer to go after him to bring him back to the temple. Saeed will agree to be questioned by the temple people, but instead they torture him. After the torture, they'll try to poison him. Apparently, they say he's infected with something. The temple people will then try to banish Saeed, and Miles will see him packing.
Banished? For what? Apparently, I'm evil. These people say I'm better off dead. Which is surprising, considering they were the ones who saved my life.
Well, actually, they're not. They tried to save you, but you were dead, man. For 2 hours. Trust me, when you sat up, they were just as surprised as the rest of us. So whatever brought you back, it wasn't them.
Hold it. Stop! Don't shoot her!
If that blonde lady looks familiar, it totally should. That's Claire, the woman who had the baby.
He wants to see you.
何のことかわからんという。
Speak English.
Who wants to see me?
You know who.
There's a lot of storyline and context things happening, and it doesn't really involve Miles, and he has no clue what's going on for the most part. Miles will contently play cards alone for a bit until Kate returns back to the temple.
Sawyer sent you packing, huh? I thought about going after him, too. But, I knew he'd just end up berating me until I turned around and came back. That's pretty much what happened.
Pretty much.
Well, welcome back to the circus.
What's going on in here?
Well, let's see. Oh, that Australian chick's back.
Wait, what?
You know, the blonde, one that had the baby?
Claire?
Right, Claire. She just strolled in here a couple of hours ago, acting all weird. Still hot, though.
Saeed comes back with the message. Anyone who leaves the temple will be spared. Anyone who stays will die. Miles is a little confused by all this.
Everyone listen! This is a bluff! He can't come in! He can't come in!
Hey, what happened out there? 1 minute you're banished, the next you're telling everyone they're gonna die.
That's the sum of it.
So, are we getting out of here or what?
Not yet. I have to return this.
The leader of the temple is totally killed by Saeed, and this is apparently what lets the monster in.
We gotta go now.
Kate and Miles are together when this happens, and they both will try to run away, but they end up being separated. He'll enter a room and try to block the door from being opened, and that's when it's kicked down. He'll run into another group on the island, and also he'll run into some old friends.
Where are Shepard and Reyes? And Ford?
Where the hell are you?
Just answer the question.
They're gone. Everyone's gone. I'm the only one left. Kate and I got separated. Lapidus. How did you? We'll play catch up later. You want to live, you better move your ass.
All right, the rest of you with me. Come on. Everybody inside now.
Miles and the current group he's in will decide to go back to the beach, because at least it's familiar territory. On the way to the beach, Miles is called upon to use his gift.
How about you tell me what that thing back there was?
That thing's what killed her friends back at the statue.
And Jacob, right? It killed Jacob, too.
Yeah, of course. And Jacob.
Of course. You're Miles, right? Miles Straume? You communicate with the dead.
Not technically. I can tell you how someone died, pick up their last thoughts before they check out, but I need to be near their bodies.
This is what's left of Jacob's body.
Linus killed him.
What? That's not true.
Well, he was standing over Jacob's dead body with a bloody dagger, so... Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Thank you.
Uh-oh.
And this is a great time for a context break. Jacob is the current protector, or was the current protector of the island. The island is very special, and he is in an eternal battle with his brother, a character named the Man in Black, also known as the Smoke Monster. The Man in Black cannot leave this island as long as the island has a protector, and this was the reason why Jacob was killed. The Man in Black convinced and manipulated Ben to kill Jacob. He did this taking on the form of one John Locke, who is dead. Side note, he was killed by Ben Linus. So from this point on, whenever anyone refers to Locke or John Locke or you see a John Locke, is in fact the Man in Black. When the group gets to the beach, they will all try to make a plan.
The rest of you see what food's left. Maybe get a fire going.
Yeah, a fire will fix everything.
Ben will try his best to be helpful, but he's kind of held by gunpoint by the angry woman and is forced to dig his own grave. That's when he'll get a visit from Miles.
Not exactly tearing it up on the digging front, are you?
I'm not in a big hurry.
Brought you some grub. Hope you like green beans and banana, because that's all we got.
Not really hungry.
Suit yourself.
Miles, do you remember once you asked me for $3.2 million? Do you still want it?
What are you going to do? You're going to write me a check on this banana leaf?
I can get off this island. And when I do, I have a vast network of people and resources that will get you that money. All you have to do is cut me loose.
Why would I need your money when there are a couple of jabonis under there named Nicky and Paolo who got buried alive with $8 million in diamonds on top of them?
I can't believe you're just gonna stand by and watch this happen. Ilana's gonna murder me for killing Jacob, a man who didn't even care about being killed.
No, he cared.
Excuse me?
Right up until the second the knife went through his heart. He was hoping he was wrong about you. I guess he wasn't.
While Miles is digging up the diamonds, the group there will have a happy reunion moment when Jack and Hurley come back to the beach. The current group Miles is in is the following people: Miles, Jack, Hurley, Ben, Frank, a woman named Sun, who, side note, is the wife of Jin, Alana, the angry woman with the gun, and a guy named Richard. And Richard's going to need some context. At this point in time, Richard is about 170 to 180 years old. Long story short, Richard was made immortal by Jacob for whatever reason. And Richard was made like Jacob's right-hand guy and kind of a messenger or intermediate to the island and the hostiles and the others and the people there. During the fireside chat, the group will discuss the existence of candidates. These candidates are to replace Jacob as protector of the island, and a lot of them are on Oceanic Flight 815. And this is why others are willing to try to protect them from the Man in Black or Smoke Monster. They will all look to Richard to know what to do next. He has a crisis of faith and will run out into the jungle. Hurley will inevitably bring him back, and they will make a plan.
This man wants to leave the island, and that plane's the only way he can do it. You want to know where we're going? We're going to stop him.
This is your fault, isn't it?
Sorta.
This decision kind of divides the group. Alana will go get dynamite, and it doesn't end well. Yeah, she blows herself up. The group will then venture to go get more dynamite, but Hurley will blow it up. And this is when the group gets divided. Richard wants to blow up the plane, and Hurley wants to go talk to Locke, or the Man in Black.
I'm gonna make this simple. If that thing leaves the island, that's it. It's over.
What's over?
Everything. I'm destroying that plane. And I can use all the help I can get. Who's coming with me?
I am.
I saw that thing in action, man. It doesn't want to talk. Sorry.
Don't get in our way.
The boys will venture through the jungle and go back to the barracks to get the C4.
What's that? A secret room?
It's where I was told I could summon the monster. That's before I realized that it was the one summoning me.
That's when a surprise guest will show up, Charles Whitmore. If that name sounds familiar, it totally should. Charles Whitmore is the guy who originally hired Miles and the research team to come to the island. Ben and Charles have sort of a back and forth and discuss things when they realize that they aren't safe anymore and the Man in Black is coming their way. This is when Richard and Ben will volunteer to help distract the Man in Black.
Good luck with that.
It doesn't go super well for Richard when the Man in Black in the shape of the smoke monster will fling him through the jungle. This is when Miles will find him.
What happened? You thought it'd be a good idea to talk to the black smoke. It responded by throwing you into the damn jungle.
Locke, is he still here?
No. I've been trying to get Linus on the walkie. He won't pick up. Come on, let's get you some help.
Help? Help from where? You still have the explosives? The C4?
Yeah. Why?
Because we need to go to the other island and finish what we started. We need to blow up that plane.
Miles and Richard are determined to stay on mission, blow up the plane. In order to do so, they must go from one island to another by rowboat. On the way, they happen upon a bunch of dead bodies and one cry for help. And wouldn't you know it, Miles happens upon Frank again. This is when Frank will offer up a new plan, a better plan.
Get him some water.
What are you guys doing out here?
We're going to Hydra Island, blow up the plane.
What do you want to do that for?
Because the black smoke wants to get off the island. We have to stop that thing from leaving.
Well, if we leave, that thing won't have a plane anymore.
Yeah, and how are we going to do that?
In case you haven't noticed, I'm a pilot.
The group will reach the shore, and a mad Claire tries to shoot them. She is worried that the Man in Black sent them all to kill her. They talk her out of that, and offer to take her with them. She declines. So the group of three will go to the plane and make it ready to take off. As they reach the plane, the island's kind of raining and falling apart, so they have to make some repairs.
Come in!
Miles, is that you?
Yeah, what the hell is happening?
Are you with Claire?
She's here, but she doesn't want to come with us.
Come with you where?
Lapidus is working on the plane right now. Then we're taking off.
Can you fix it?
I don't believe in a lot of things, but I do believe in duct tape. Yeah, I think we're good.
After doing everything to fix the plane, Miles' group succeed. They are ready to take off. Before they do, they have some last-minute guests.
Boys, we got some late arrivals. Open the door.
Come on!
Way to wait till the last second, Jim.
Good to see you too, Enos.
We got him! Everybody buckle up tight! Hold on!
And yes, this is when Miles and everyone on the plane will escape the island. The show doesn't dive into what happens to Miles after the island, but we can, assume some stuff. He did dig up millions of dollars of diamonds, so I assume he lives a cushy, safe, normal, boring life. And we love that for him. And this is the end to Miles' story. I know what you're thinking. Do we see Miles in The Flash Sideways? Yes, briefly. In The Flash Sideways, Miles is a cop and his partner is Sawyer.
Please, stop the gun!
And you're back. Cutting it a little close, huh?
Wrong way to cut it.
Put your damn clothes.
Miles' Flash Sideways stories is Miles' partner Sawyer goes to Australia for personal business, but will lie to Miles about it.
Sorry, I'm gonna have to call you back.
Who's Anthony Cooper?
Old buddy I ran into. Say you can hook me up with some liquor tickets.
That's cool. Would you see him in Palm Springs?
What?
Palm Springs? Your trip last weekend?
Yeah, it's a blur. Too much sunshine, too many Mai Tais.
But, being a cop, Miles will eventually discover the truth.
Whoa, shut up! Is there something you want to tell me? What? Is there something you want to tell me?
Look, she opened the wrong drawer.
What the hell are you talking about? I want to know what you were doing in Australia when you told me you were in Palm Springs. I ran your credit card. I know you went to Sydney. Oceanic, round trip. You took flight 815 back 2 days ago.
What the hell are you doing running my credit card?
You lied to me! We're supposed to trust each other. So, Jim, what were you doing in Australia?
The two partners will eventually kiss and make up when Sawyer decides to tell Miles the truth.
When I was 9 years old, my father shot my mother. Then he killed himself. Sawyer was the reason why. He was a grifter, con man. I've been hunting him down since the day I left the academy.
Why didn't you tell me any of this?
You try and talk me out of it.
Damn right.
Fair enough.
And the two partners will go on in The Flash Sideways to do buddy cop things.
Jim, got a live one. Come on.
It's okay. Duty calls.
We caught a multiple homicide at a restaurant. Victims were a lowlife named Kimi and 3 goons on his payroll. Korean female GSW at the scene, and her boyfriend witnessed it. He doesn't speak English.
Any suspects?
Yeah, an ATM surveillance camera grabbed this jabroni fleeing the scene.
Alrighty. Put a name with that face.
Some identification?
Can you open the door, please?
This is Straume, Detective Straume. I need to ask you some questions. Do you have a few minutes?
Let's go.
Thank you. I think we have quite a special evening ahead of us. So let's get to it, shall we?
Yes, in The Flash Sideways, Miles' dad is alive. And we assume Miles lives a happy, normal, good life. But this is the end of the video, my friend. You have watched the life of Miles Straume. Thanks for making it to the end.
Welcome to the island where we all say namaste. And once you have set foot here, life will never Our science done in silence, where discovery is the game. This is orientation. Namaste.